Backyard Wrestling fans, welcome to another episode of SmackYard Radio, now on Spotify. So if you guys want to listen to this podcast a little more easier when you're doing your day-to-day basis stuff, definitely check us out on Spotify if you guys are not already on Spotify. But on today's episode, we're getting legendary again. We got the one, the only Napalm from LBYW. What's up, my brother?
How's it going, buddy? What are you doing today?
So, on the last episode, we had CJ Junt, a man who you have a long history, like character-wise or whatever, in LBYW. But now we got you. So, I like to start off these podcasts just, starting way back, starting in the beginning. So, how did you get into professional wrestling?
Get into wrestling. Well, started out like 2 years ago, and I ended up working at the prison up here. Just started in Bismarck, North Dakota, and the person that I was doing the academy with was good old CJ. And it's like we wasn't sure about each other at first, but after a little while of talking on and on, we became friends. Well, one thing I did realize is that sometimes he would wear wrestling shirts and stuff like that, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to watch wrestling as a kid. So like I would tell him some things about wrestling and stuff like that, and pop an interest with him and build a friendship and stuff like that. Well, then it wasn't that long later that we were in the briefing room. He goes, "Hey, after our shift, come outside. I want to talk to you about something." And I was just like,
Oh,
"Oh,
no.
okay. Well, let's. What do you? Is everything okay? Like, you're like fucking like, are you just gonna bring me out to the parking lot and try to whoop my ass or some shit? Like,
Hey.
what's gonna happen here?" No, so he brings me out to the parking lot and he starts telling me about his company, Legendary Backyard Wrestling, and he was like, "Yeah, we do this and that. We have a trampoline and stuff like that. We have characters and stuff like that. Is that something like you're interested in?" And I was just like, "Oh my god, if 10-year-old me right now was hearing this shit, he would freak the hell out." And I was just like, "Hell yeah, I want to do this. So let's jump right on into it.
So,
Tell
wait,
me
so,
when and where."
so did you fall out of love with professional wrestling when you were younger?
Oh no, I didn't fall out of love with it. It was just like at the time, it was just like they were trying too much with in professional wrestling, especially in like in WWE type way. They were trying too much, and so like it was just hard to watch a little bit,
I feel that.
But
I feel
but
that.
but I still kept up with it, like I didn't have like cable growing up, so like when they switched to like the cable channels to USA and stuff like that, like so like it was a little bit harder.
Oh, no,
And
I feel that.
so like I had a phone, so I had Snapchat, so I would keep up with the reels on Snapchat to see what was going on week by week.
Oh no, yeah, fucking shit.
Yeah.
WWE has went through some dark periods. See, I remember like when growing up, like my mom just did not allow me to stay up to watch wrestling. So like for me, uh like growing up in New York, I would fucking record Raw on like fucking VHS tapes. And that's how I had it for like the week. So like every week I would tape it because I wasn't allowed to stay up. And then
Right.
fucking moving to Florida, yeah, my parents they were just like, yeah, we're not paying for cable up here. So like shit fucking crushed me, man.
Well, see,
So
like my mother had no problem with it because she used to watch it like
oh no, my
80s and
my mom
90s.
my
Yeah,
mom was a
yeah.
wrestling fan, but these motherfuckers they were just cheap. Like literally, like
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
like in New York, we paid for cable. That's how like I fucking recorded Raw on like fucking VHS tapes, which I still have like a couple of them shits. Uh, and then moving to Florida, now my parents were like, nah, we're not paying for cable no more. I was like, how the fuck am I
The-
supposed to watch my goddamn Raw? Shit crushed me, man. Fucking, and like I barely knew what YouTube was, but that shit was a lifesaver. Like figuring out like YouTube and like finding clips. Oh my
Right.
god. So when did you get into professional wrestling?
Like as
Like a fan,
like
like
like a
WWE.
fan. Oh shit. I was 7, and like it was a Friday night. That's when they were on my TV or my
Hey,
41, something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
it was Friday Night SmackDown, where that was the home of it. And so, like 7 years old, it was nighttime, and like we're all in the living room. And it was me, my mom, and my brother, and my baby sister. And like I was just scrolling through the TV, and like my God, there was just show called SmackDown on, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? I guess it was after WrestleMania or something like that, if I remember correctly. Like Undertaker just won and shit, and like it was big and big show. Edge was there. It was crazy. So when I watched it for the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is this is interesting. I love this. And then I figure out where Raw was at the time, and then like like then it was just like it was like for 4 years straight, like they were on the same channel, so I just kept watching it on
Bro,
like normal TV.
SmackDown was like my like that's where like my first memories of wrestling came into play because like growing up, SmackDown was like a Friday night, so like that was like the only day my mom was like, okay, you can stay up and watch wrestling because like Raw, like yeah, like I taped it, but like when like I remember like my first wrestling memory of like SmackDown. Shit, I don't know if you know this, but like, so it was Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio.
Hmm.
It was an I Quit match on like a random SmackDown from fucking whatever the fuck that was like '07. And I remember like the finish was like they had Rey Mysterio like upside down on like the stage or whatever, and like Chavo Guerrero was like hitting him with the chair, and like my uncle was like, oh yeah, the only way they got him down was they had to cut off his legs, and it like scarred me. So like I started watching wrestling to make sure Rey Mysterio had like
There,
legs or whatever. I was like, what the fuck,
he turned into Lieutenant Dan. He just had
dude? And like for
Rod's
some
first.
reason, I was like, what? I was like maybe like 6, and I believed him. I was like, fuck, they cut off his legs. Like motherfucker, god damn. Yeah, I never liked Chavo Guerrero after that.
No, right? No, but no, it was so like when I got more and more into professional wrestling and stuff like that, my mom like because that's when they were coming out like with DVDs with their like old time stuff. And so like their 80s and 90s era. Well, that's when I got to watch, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and
Yeah,
all those guys. And well, then like I was like, oh, Hulk Hogan, hell yeah, that was the fucking man, dude. Like there's a picture out there of me freaking for Halloween one year. I dressed up
dude, you
as
know
Hulk
some
Hogan. They had a Hulk Hogan costume.
you know some wild shit. Fucking growing up, so like my dad, like, cause like I'm from New York, right? So like my dad, he was a security guard after like he did his shit in the army, and he was like a security guard for some of the guys back in Madison Square Garden, and he had like pictures like 8x10s and like autographs, and like I remember like he gave me like Doink the Clown, and like me being like young, I thought like Doink the Clown was like the shit. I was like, yo, I got Doink the Clown's autograph, and like turns out he was just some fucking jobbing piece of shit. But like, dude, I told all my friends at school, I was like, yo, I got Doink the Clown's fucking autograph. I was like, I'm the fucking man. Some fucking
Oh
jobbing ass
yeah.
nobody.
Oh Jesus.
But no, so
No.
who was some of your favorites growing up?
Growing up, of course Hulk Hogan, you know, and then of course DX, just the tag team, and then I loved Randy Orton, especially his villain phase
Uh
or
huh.
his heel phase. Um, and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was one of my diehard favorites.
Yeah, dude.
Diehard. I never really jumped on the John Cena train like good old CJ,
Hey,
but
hey, John Cena's the goat. But dude,
yeah, yeah,
for
no,
me,
but
it was Hardy. It was Hardy and Cena. That was like
yeah,
I'd rotate every Halloween. One Halloween, I'd be John Cena. The next, I'd be Jeff Hardy. Dude,
hell
I
yeah.
remember when they came out with that what was it? The My Life My Rose DVD. Oh my god,
Hmm.
dude. I was a fucking fiend for that, dude. I begged my mom for a goddamn year for her to find that goddamn DVD and buy it for me.
See,
Dude, for a fucking year.
I really wanted that DVD, and my mom couldn't do it. She couldn't get it for me, and so like it's like there's even like one time there was like an old video store, like they were closing and some shit, and I seen that they had it there. Like I almost robbed that motherfucker just to make sure that I was gonna have this
Dude,
shit, but I was just like,
it took my mom like a year to find that DVD and get it. Like them shits were just sold out everywhere. I was like, fuck, I want my goddamn DVD. I think it was like
oh yeah, yeah, you couldn't find it at all.
dude, Jeff Hardy was like dude, he was like almost goddamn more popular than John Cena back in the day.
Oh, oh yeah, he was dope as hell. Like like all the moves that he used to do, and and his music was just bad. Every time you heard it, it was just phenomenal.
Oh my
You
god.
know, oh, it just makes the blood pump every time you just hear it.
So
But no, like I even had like his little wrestling figure of Jeff and Matt and all of them and stuff like that.
I still collect action figures. I'm not gonna cap. No shame.
There's no problem with that. Hell no.
Shit, dude. I have them all in my closet in a big fucking Tupperware, dude. I don't let my kids touch them shits. Them shits are my
Hey.
prized goddamn possession, dude. I gave some of my kids my old action figures and like shit. R.I.P. R.I.P. to those ones. They've broken them. They fucking poor Nunzio. I had a fucking Nunzio action figure.
Oh, really?
Dude ripped. They ripped off the
Damn.
legs and like
Damn it.
Nunzio was like a nobody, but like dude, back in the day, I didn't know who Nunzio was. So like I thought he was some like top shit. So like I
Right.
made him the world champ in my federation.
No,
So
so
yeah, that's wild.
no, and I especially like the Undertaker. I enjoyed the hell out of the Undertaker, especially when his music hit. Or like I remember like that one time after uh is when he only came back for like a couple months. It's like when WrestleMania was right around the corner. Like like he would pop up out of nowhere, and then like it's like every time like somebody was in there like doing some dickish shit. It's like, okay, where's the fucking where's the bells, huh? Where's the fucking light goes out here? Fucking tombstone your ass.
So
They call it fucking good.
what version of Undertaker was your favorite?
Oh fuck, the American Badass.
Oh yeah, why so?
Yeah. Oh, why so? It was just it. Okay, for the theme was perfect, and then also like comes out on a big fucking on a chopper, fucking just riding around, fucking like I am bad to the bone. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
He just comes out,
Type.
fucking rides his motorcycle, murks people, then leaves.
Yeah, yeah. See you later. Have fun. Thanks for coming. Yeah, that was my favorite. And so like so when I got the nickname, like in the industry, American Badass, I was like, I'm going to take this to the fucking grave with me. Like this motherfucker comes with me. I will die with this fucking name now.
So, so you were just talking about C. Dejan or whatever. You worked with him or whatever, and then he proposes LBYW. So what attracted you to join LBYW?
Well, it was just like okay, like I said, 10-year-old me, was like jumping for joy basically, and I was just like, oh hell yeah, I want to do some backyard wrestling. Hell yeah, let's do it. And then of course it's like he gave me the date, he gave me the time and the place where to be. And so like I showed up there 15 minutes prior. Of course nobody was there, and I was getting nervous in hell. And especially trying to come up with a name and like what attire should I wear too? Like, it's like I was like, oh shit, I have my vest that literally says napalm on the motherfucker. So we'll just go by napalm because it works out because my name is just right there.
Yeah.
And
So
then
where
next,
did Napalm come from?
it was just a nickname that I got in the military. So it
Oh,
was just
really?
yeah, yeah. I was a little short fire redhead that was ready for action.
So you actually
So
were in the army.
yeah, 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 it was.
Oh shit.
Mm,
So what made you want to join the army? Let's talk about that a little bit.
okay. So I just followed in my dad's footsteps. My dad, he was in the army and he was gone a lot when I was growing up.
Hmm.
He went to Afghanistan multiple occasions, and so like growing up, like my dad was like my hero. So I was just like, I want to be like my dad. I want to do exactly what my dad does. So like when I was in middle school, I already knew what I was going to do with my life. Like I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for the service and I'm going to do 20 years out of this thing. Like I'm going to retire and to be a serviceman. And so like junior year came and I was already talking to an army recruiter.
Oh, really?
Like I was, yeah, yeah. Like they came to our school like sophomore year, and I was like, yeah, like I'm definitely going to do this. And they're like, oh, you want to do this push up challenge? No, fuck you. I want to fucking join the military.
You said no, fuck you.
No, I just want to join the military, man. And he's like, okay, well, how old are you? I said, oh, well, I'm 16. He's like, oh, okay, well, when you turn 17, give me a call. And so, like, when I turned 17, I gave him a call, and then he was like, okay, so this is what we can do. You're not 18 yet, but, you're almost there. But you're also almost to your senior year, too. So, one thing that we can do so, summer after your junior year of high school, if your parents sign off on it, we could send you to basic training. And then you can do basic training during the summer. And then once basic training's over, you'll just go back home and then finish out the rest of your school year, and then you'll come back do AIT, and then we'll figure everything else from there. And so that's exactly what I did. Uh, my dad was most hard to convince, which was surprising, especially since he joined
Oh,
the army.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So like convincing him for me to go into the army was just like he was like, no,
I mean,
no,
shit.
don't do art. Yeah, don't go to the army. Like if you want to go anywhere, go to Air Force or the Navy.
So why
And
do
I
you
was
think your
like,
dad
well,
didn't want you to do the army?
because he knew everything about it, and
I
he
mean,
just
shit. Yeah.
wanted,
I mean, you hear the horror stories of like boot camp and like what
yeah,
it's
yeah,
miserable.
oh yeah. But it's like also one thing is like with talking to a lot of other people that I knew that was in the military, and they were just giving me advice for basic training and stuff like that. But with him, he was just like, no, I don't want you in combat. I don't want you to go out there and do what I had to do. And I was just like, well, it's what I want to do. And so like before then, like I even tried to contact a couple of Navy recruiters and stuff like that, but like it just wasn't for me. I didn't want to be on a boat or fucking submarine or some shit like that. I didn't want to do nothing like that. And with the Air Force, like, yeah, it would be cool to fly a plane or something, or get maintenance for an airplane or something like that. But like for one, I know I don't have the best vision. I'm not 2020, so that already takes me off the
I'm
freaking
about to say
pilot
I don't want to
list.
crash a goddamn plane.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
one
yeah.
way
That
to
already
go
takes me off
out.
the pilot. Yeah, I know, right. Yeah, napalm down to the freaking.
Oh,
No,
that's
but
wild.
no, no. So like, so yeah. So after a long time, I just told him this is something I really wanted to do, and like, as like, regardless, like, if you don't do it now, I'm just going to do it later on, anyways. Like, this is going to happen. Like when I turn 18, like I'm just going to sign up for it. I just want to get this part over with now. So let's just do it. So he said okay, and then if it's really what you do, he signed the paper, and then next thing you know, I turned it in, and then summer after junior year, they sent me off to boot camp, which was what anybody says is it's like they say, oh, it's just like a shitty summer camp. It's nowhere close to a summer camp. There's no goddamn fucking camps you're fucking doing. All right, there ain't no fucking fun activities. It fucking sucks. Basic
Oh
training
yeah.
is ass,
No, my
but
buddy
it's
was in the army, and then Big B, he's currently in the Navy. It sucks. It really
oh
does.
yeah, oh yeah.
I
Especially waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to go freaking run for 2 miles. Yeah, fuck you. I
I
am.
mean, thank you and your dad for your service. How many years you got out the military?
I was only able to do 4
4.
because yeah, I ended up um, breaking my knee, breaking my kneecap and my collarbone, and
What were you doing?
we were getting ready to deploy, and I was getting ready to fucking also re-sign my contract. I was up for re-contract signing, and we were doing a field exercise, and I was stationed at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and we were in a tactical formation, which a tactical formation is basically where you're like in a single file line, basically, but you're like a couple feet apart. But like you all are just walking in one fucking direction. And one thing is that if people don't know, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, is full of fucking hills. It is goddamn hill galore. I don't know why they call it Relaxing Jackson. It makes zero fucking sense why it's called Relaxing Jackson. But so we were marching up this hill, and the dude in front of me, for some reason, turned left and just stopped while everyone else was walking.
Oh
I don't know
no.
why. And I bumped into him, and I ended up falling back down that hill.
Ouch.
And yeah. So when they send me to medical, yeah, they instantly gave me my discharge papers. They were like, well, it's like your time's already up anyway, so we'll just discharge you and call you good.
Ouch. So you
Yeah. Yeah.
is that the worst injury you've ever had in your life?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. Well, so far.
Goddamn
I
fell
mean,
down a hill.
yeah, fell down a hill. Yeah, especially like I'm in full gear. Like like I have my plates on me. I have my rucksack on. Like I'm in full OCPs. Like I am ready to rock and roll. Like this is, and then fall back down that hill with all that on plus the rucksack, and
Ouch.
hit a couple rocks and shit. Fucking yeah, it's not.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
where the
it's
napalm name came from. Actually being a part of the army. As well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I was a fire redhead that was ready for action.
I mean, hey, because like names, I love hearing stories about names because like names is such a like a big part of your character. Because like when people are like reading or like they're like looking into like the lore of you, one of the first things they see is your name, and it sticks. Like, I mean, because like when they're reading posts, like they see your name, and if you have a shit ass name, I mean, people are not going to take you serious or like
Oh yeah.
get behind you. So
Well, it's like in the wrestling industry where we're at nowadays. There's a lot of talking, a lot of people, and blah 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 blah. I'm not going to get into that bullshit, but it's like with like there's a couple wrestlers that we guaranteed me and you both know, like with their name, like every time you hear their name, you already know, like oh that they're a shit person, shit human being, like
yeah,
fucking like it's like we're not
fuck
like
that.
yeah. And the thing is, your name is the only thing that you got. So I'm like yeah, like it's our stage name, like but still you hear Napalm, CJ John, and Aries, like you hear all that, like you know who those people are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like you give yourself a bad name, then like what?
I mean, come on,
Now
dude. I
every
mean,
time
like
I
if fucking
yeah,
someone hears like I don't know some fucking stupid ass name, they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, I'm not giving that guy the day of the time of day.
you're right.
So
No, but no, but yeah, I was a Napalm short fire redhead. So like when I came back home, I ended up actually finding the plate carrier that I have, the black plate carrier, which actually does have plates and all, because I like to prepare for the worst just in case purposes. Anything can
wait,
happen.
so
Um,
the napalm stuff that you wore or wear currently, that was like your actual legit what you wore in the army?
no, 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 no. I just came home
Oh, okay.
after all that stuff, and like I already turned in, all the stuff the army issued me and stuff like that. So I don't have any of
You don't
my
get to keep the
OCPs and stuff like
uniform?
that. Well, like I can, but I sold it to the army. Like in Oklahoma, there's this army place
Uh-huh.
that you can buy uniforms and stuff like that. So I just sold it to them because I was just like, I don't need it no more. And like if I were to go back in, they'll just issue me new ones anyways.
I mean, shit,
But
you could have wore for LBYW. Could have been the
oh
soldier.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
Eric
yeah.
Danger. Yeah, no, Eric Danger. He did a stint in the army a couple years ago, and yeah, no, he wore his army shit for like like because after the army he came back for a little run. Yeah, he wore his legit ass fucking United States America issued army shit for FBW, full on fucking vest and everything.
Yeah, no, I just found this plate carrier. It was at the army place after I sold my uniform, so I bought that. I bought the plate carrier, and then to get the name tape was a little difficult, but when I got the name tape, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." So I just stuck it on the Velcro part, and I was just like, "Okay, we're ready to rock and roll." And then every now and again, I was just like, "I'm never like before LBYW." I was like, "I'm never gonna be able to use the name Napalm again." Because like only people who actually is Napalm. That's how that works. So when CJ came to me with stuff like that, it was like, yeah, come up with your name and stuff like that, and we'll get right at it. I was like, holy shit, napalm, baby, fucking napalm.
I mean, shit. Yeah, no. I mean, for me, like throughout my career, like with all of my names that I've had in the past, like I've always wanted a name with like meaning. I didn't want to just like I don't know, maybe that's just like a sentimental fucking trait of my personality, but like I've always wanted a name that has meaning. Like right now, Anthony Aries, uh, Aries is like my daughter's zodiac sign. That's why like I'm Anthony Aries. So like
Mhm.
has nothing to do with Austin Aries, my fucking long lost fucking uncle or some wild shit like that. But because like I mean shit, like names are such like a big part of us. Like why not choose a name that has like a cool ass story behind it?
No, oh yeah, yeah. Instead
So
of making like some wild
fuck yeah.
name
Yeah,
like
like
Doink the Clown,
yo, I still have
and
that
I'm kidding.
autograph somewhere. I'm pretty sure, dude. I gotta find that shit. Fucking Doink the
Yes,
Clown.
please do,
Yo, I'm gonna
please
interview
do.
Doink the Clown on fucking SmackYard Radio one time. That's the close.
Let's go.
I don't even know if he's still alive. I'm not gonna cap. I'm really not. But so you join LBYW and really, I mean, shit, like one of the big programs, especially that we've seen on the Backyard Wrestling Nexus, which a sponsor for today's podcast. Yeah, so like, how was it wrestling CJ Junt? Because like he was really like your major program, like your major dancing partner.
Oh yeah, and like me and him danced real well. Like like when we danced, it was good. Uh, he's good. CJ John, he's a hell of a wrestler. He really is, and a hell of a performer. Like just watching him the first time, especially like when I first like before my first match and stuff like that. He told me just to sit back and watch and just see how things go. And so sitting back and watching him and how he did his moves and stuff like that, it's like, and how he sells and how he performs the moves and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that's beautiful. It's a story making behind every sell and everything else. So when I was wrestling him, it was just like, the master versus the student type situation, like every time that we did anything, it was something new I was learning. Like every move that I did was new for me. I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know what we just made it up on the fucking spot. Like especially with that pop up power bomb, it's like I didn't know I could fucking do that. Hell no.
Dude, it takes a lot to wrestle. Really, it really
Oh yeah,
does.
yeah, it does.
And I mean, trampoline wrestling, I will die on this hill. Trampoline wrestling's no joke. People want to dog on trampoline wrestling. Trampoline
No,
wrestling, it can suck and it takes a lot to do,
oh yeah, especially depends on also the weather that you have as well. It's like
Oh,
if it's
dude, if you have
hot.
fucking if it's cold and your trampoline is stiff, that fucking dude, when a trampoline has no give, it's fucking horrible. You ever
Yeah,
have
and it's gonna hurt.
whiplash? Dude, whiplash sucks, dude. I got
Uh,
whiplash and concussed my first training session for like when we got the trampoline for FBW. Dude, I was like fucking a goner for like a month. It sucked.
no, yeah. See, so when the show for Backyard Wrestling Nexus Resolution that came out last year, so it was me and CJ Junt wrestling once again because I just came back from Oklahoma, so it was like I returned. Now it's time to get this started, and like it was cold. It was cold that day, and that trampoline was hard. And so like with every move that we did with spears and whatever, what you name it, like you felt all of it.
Yeah.
So with that spear that I did to him, that we were on top of the rocks leading all the way down. Yeah, 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 yeah. I just knew like as soon as I hit that trampoline, I was just like, I'm just gonna lay here for a minute.
Dude. See, and like when it's hot, right, and it's humid, it just fucking like it kills you. But then when it's cold and the air's dry, it just burns your throat. It's just
Oh
miserable.
yeah.
So
Oh
like
yeah.
you can't get your goddamn breath, and then the fucking trampoline is stiff. I'm telling you, I will die on this hill. Trampoline wrestling is no joke.
It's not,
So what is
like
the worst bump or spot that you've ever taken in your career?
so it was our 4th of July special. It was a 5-man. I was United States champion at the time. It was a little bit way before I had to leave to go back to Oklahoma. Um, so I was pinning Ragnarok, and the Willister comes in to break up the pin. And when he jumped into the ring, his body weight and everything rolled.
Ouch.
And I was doing at the time. This is the last time I fucking did. I was doing the fucking whole Drew McIntyre fucking little pin thing where you like you pin your body up a little bit.
Yeah.
Fucking he rolled his body weight, everything on top of my ankle, and
Ouch.
it went to the other side, and I felt it pop and everything. And then I crawled away. I was on the edge of the sideline, catching my breath, and it's like literally, it was like a couple seconds before, fucking psychotic freak comes up, kicks me in the chest, and grabs me and my vest and just throws me out. So my ankle hurts. Now I'm getting thrown out, full body weight plus my vest and the whole 9 yards, just flat hit on the ground, and I just laid there. I was just like,
Count
"Yep,
me
this
out.
is
He said, "Count me
yeah,
out,
this
Marcus.
is
I'm out."
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is where I lay. This is where everything happens right here. I'm just gonna lay here. I'm gonna look up at the sky and get rained on. I don't fucking care. Everything is
No,
fine.
I think my worst injury had to be that whiplash. Holy shit. Like, whiplash, that was no joke. And I think I got concussed too. Shit, dude, fucking, I had to go to the doctor for that one. And I don't go to the fucking doctor if I'm dying. Don't tell me I'm fucking dying. I'll just fucking die. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know I'm dying. and slowly get tortured as I'm dying. But no, I had to go to the doctor for that one, dude. I got put on fucking muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatories, fucking
Jesus.
yeah, dude. It was. I think I was. I can't remember, man. We were either practicing German suplexes or a fucking choke slam, and it just, dude, yeah. And then fucking, oh my, dude. I was talking to fucking Yoshi Matsuda or whatever from Wrestling Zero this morning, and I was telling him, dude, man, everybody has just fucking killed me and my neck, dude. I have a bad fucking neck, dude. Fucking so like years of wrestling on the ground, taking like the roll bumps for DDTs. That
Mm.
fucking fucked my shit up. And then I go to Georgia and I go to wrestle Sam Reeves in the bull rope match for BYWN Heart of Glory. I go to take a choke slam. Sam Reeves fucking plops me right on my neck. I folded like a goddamn quesadilla, dude. And then
Jesus.
fucking I go to train with Big B for when we get the trampoline down here. Fucking yep, get whiplash training with him. And then I come back too early because I gotta do Resurgence, right? The first FBW event of 2024. We go in there, gives me a clothesline. Fucking trampoline just says nah, no give. Ate that shit right on my goddamn head. And then for some reason, I'm like, all right, let's fuck it. Let's do a choke slam. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, fuck it. What can go wrong? Dude fucking drops me on my goddamn head again. And then after
Jesus.
that, no, there's more. Then after that, we just had a tape day earlier this month. I was filming. We were filming a match. Chris Dynamite was in it. Chris Dynamite goes to give me a suplex. Doesn't give me enough time to prepare. Brain busters me right on my goddamn neck. Motherfuckers trying to murk me. Motherfuckers are trying to murk me.
They're trying to take you out, brother. They're trying to take you out
Dude,
altogether.
I'm not gonna cap. I'm surprised my neck ain't broke. I'm surprised my neck is still holding up, dude. I've been doing this shit for.
See, like, okay, so like with my finisher when I first started out, it was the spear. But then, after looking at it, everybody is doing the fucking spear. Okay, it's like, okay, so I want to do something that's different, you know, but also I want to protect the person that I'm doing the move on to. So CJ, of course, named my finishing move, which is the non-controversial fucking Oklahoma City Bomber. Okay, which is basically just relevant to an F5. So, well, the thing is, though, I put a little twist to it. Is that like so when I spin them around, I'm holding onto their neck, like basically like I transition to like this like weird RKO type situation
Uh-huh.
when because I just drop with them. But the thing is though is that with the neck I protect it with my shoulder. So basically their head when I'm going down is in my shoulder pocket,
Mm-hmm.
so that all that force that we're both going down with, their neck is perfectly safe in that shoulder
I mean,
pocket.
shit, like dropping on your head on a trampoline, it still sucks. It really
Oh
does,
yeah,
dude. Like when Reeves dropped me on my head for that choke slam, dude. The next day, I was like immobile. I was like done, dude. I couldn't get out of fucking bed. Granted, like after that match, because like like when I went to Georgia, we did like a tape day, right? So like after that, I faced Damian Prime, right, for SGW Champions Chaos. So this was like I already got dropped on my goddamn head. I'm just going with the flow now. This motherfucker hit me with a goddamn steel chair on my upper goddamn back, so fucking hard, dude. What is up with these fuckers, dude? And like no, like if you watch the match back, you knew he fucked up. Like he just like I guess he couldn't control the chair on the way down. Like you can see him. Like he was like, oh fuck, I just killed this man. Cause like dude, like I just couldn't fucking move. I was like, dude, I'm in so much pain. Like I don't even got fucking the energy to fucking react, and I'm even in pain. You know. So
oh Jesus,
wrestling sucks.
wrestling sucks, but it's just so much fun.
So was there ever plans that you like growing up? Like, was there ever plans that you wanted to be a pro wrestler, or was it just
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. I wanted to I always wanted to be part of wrestling. I always wanted to do it. It's like and there's also trying to find the way of how to do it. You know what I mean? So like one thing I didn't know, okay, so like I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma called Collinsville. And it's like like the only wrestling that was there was your typical fucking school wrestling. Like I was like, yeah, that's nothing I really want to be a part of. You know, it's like I don't feel like wearing these tight ass clothes with my junk just hanging out there wrestling some
Oh,
dude. So I like, like I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do like, what the professionals do and stuff like that. So like we didn't have like no school or anything like that. But one thing to figure out is like up here in North Dakota, like if you go like a couple hours down south into South Dakota, like there was a school for
mm,
it. I wish that I had that opportunity, and like in Oklahoma, like if I knew there was like a school or something like that, I would been all over that shit beyond means. So like I always wanted to do it, but just never knew how. Just did not know how. And also like I didn't have the resources like I do now to try to look up that stuff, you know. So like when the opportunity came, when CJ gave me the opportunity, of course I was all over that, like fucking white on rice.
any future
You know,
plans to go pro, or you're in LBYW?
I'm in LBYW. Like I would like to go pro, of course. Work my way up, but it's like also I got to think about it, especially with my life and how things roll and how I have like the grind doesn't stop, work doesn't stop, life doesn't stop. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
if I could find time, I totally would, 100%.
I
There
feel that.
was some stuff around here. You know what I mean? Like I would take a couple days out of my weekend or something like that, and just a couple
Shit,
hours
no,
and go
shit. I
do
feel
it.
that, dude. I'm a fucking father. I gotta hold down this household. Gotta fucking pay bills. Fucking all that
Hmm.
fucking fun stuff. And wrestling school ain't fucking cheap. Like they really fucking milk your goddamn wallet. And like some of these like pro
Or
people, they're shady as shit. They'll just steal your
oh
fucking money and then just have you in the fucking loop of just
of course, because because they ain't pros no more. They ain't in the big lights anymore. So their money
yep.
is gone. So the only way they can make their money is like, oh, like come to my school. I'll teach you what you need to know and shit like that. And then they only like from what I've heard, they like teach you and then but don't help you get your fucking foot through the door. You know what I mean? Like, they just have you at the school just to do this shit
It's
and
it's a
train how to
really
be a wrestler.
shady. It's like a really shady like here and there business to be honest. Like my local
Right.
school, the school that like, because like my original plan was right out of high school, I was gonna go to wrestling school, right? Obviously, right out of high school, I had my first kid, and then a year after that, I had my second kid, and I was like, okay, it's not happening. But that school that I was going to go to, my wife ended up working with some like a manager in wrestling for like our local scene, and my girl was talking to her about it, and yeah, she was like, "Oh yeah, that school that that I was planning on going to, the dude in charge, or like I guess like the dude who was in charge. I heard that he like doesn't work there no more, but yeah, he was known to basically milk people of their money, not graduate
Mm.
them. He would purposely not graduate them so that they can keep paying, and because like I mean, obviously you train until they graduate you and give you your little fucking license or whatever. Dodge that bullet, because I'm just an FBW now. But no, like and like the whole like wrestling school, like you never wanted to do amateur wrestling, because like me, like I like growing up, I thought, oh well, if I do the school wrestling shit, it would help me be a pro wrestler. But you know, my school and the wrestling coach ended up bullying me in FBW. So I like see like the wrestling coach would bully me for FBW and bully my guys for FBW along with like the whole fucking school. And then the wrestling coach was like, "Oh yeah, join your wrestling team. We really want you on the wrestling team." I was like, "Yeah, sure you do. I'm not getting fucking
No,
hazed.
yeah.
I'm not getting hazed. I'm fucking smarter than that. Fucking
Right. Yeah, no, I didn't want to do amateur wrestling. Like it was somewhat decent the school I was growing up in, but like, the biggest sports that were in my school was like, baseball, football and all that shit, Like wrestling was an okay ordeal. It was just something that never interested me whatsoever. And also I was also trying to think about, majority of like my long time career, like especially like what I want to do, trying to stay fit and stuff like that before I joined the military. You know what I mean? Because I knew that was still on my mind. I always do. But yeah, it just didn't interest me whatsoever. And also, like, we never had any backyard wrestling stuff where I was from.
So growing up, did you even know what backyard wrestling was, or like were you fans, or were you a fan of like some of these vintage or like OG backyard wrestling companies, or like did you not have any
No, no,
idea?
I had no idea because it wasn't like a big thing where I was at. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if there's actually any companies in Oklahoma that does backyard wrestling and any big ones or anything like
See,
that. So like,
for like me, I didn't know like so like growing up in New York, like I like we weren't fucking poor, but we weren't rich either. So like I like back in the day, I didn't know what YouTube was. I didn't have a fucking computer, so like fucking like there was these feds like ESW, KBW, like some of like the legends that like you hear like started like this generation of backyard wrestling, but like I didn't know that that shit existed. It wasn't until
right,
like I discovered YouTube and like I was like, oh man, if I'm too young to pro wrestle, I can just wrestle in my backyard and it's like a whole ass community. I never knew that shit, because like I just didn't have YouTube. But like
right.
you didn't discover backyard wrestling until you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Until I moved up here to North Dakota. Yeah, I did not know nothing about backyard wrestling until I moved up here to North Dakota. And so when it got opened up to me, that opened up a whole new fucking world. That's not like my whole YouTube playlist was like just backyard
So
wrestling,
what was your
backyard
first
wrestling.
impressions of the backyard wrestling community?
I my first impressions, I was in awe. I really was. I was like, holy shit. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of us that does this. And there's a lot of us that put our heart and soul out, and there's a lot of us that are just there. But regardless of the situation, no, yeah, I was in awe, and for how like many opportunities and like how many people are going from like different shows to shows to shows to do some stuff there, stuff like that, and so it I really enjoyed it a lot.
So getting back to LBYW, so what do you think is your best match in your LBYW career so far?
Mm. See, all my matches with CJ John, I think those were beautiful, beautiful. So I like so far, I would have to say it's the most recent one, which is that Haunted Hellfest that we did.
That's your
The whole,
best match. Your best match.
I think I gave more than 110% effort in that fucking match. I really did, and that was like my first time also in playing in front of a big crowd as well. Fucking like so because I missed the Haunted Hellfest before, which that was a good show, but like this one I was actually a part of, and so like yeah, I gave my heart and soul into that whole match, everything, the whole 9 yards, and how everything worked. Like I still watch that on repeat over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, you and CJ Junk got some really good chemistry. I mean, shit, like the BYWN collab show Resolutions, like we hosted one of your guys' epic battles or whatever, and that was when you made CJ tap out for like the first time or some shit.
Hmm. That was that resolution. Yeah.
I remember that. So you say that Haunted Hellfest 4 is your best match. What is the match that if someone is becoming a new fan of Napalm, what is that one match that's like the introduction to Napalm? Like what is the one match you show to a new fan that just shows them everything about you?
Hmm. Well, it's definitely not my first ever one with Ragnarok because that was literally putting my foot in the water. I did not know shit. I did not know how to take a bump. I couldn't fucking stay down to save my life with whatever fucking move Ragnarok fucking put on me. So that is definitely not one of them.
Wait, so who trained you? Wait,
Um,
so real quick, who trained you? Or did you get any training before that match, or they just kind of said you're a wrestling
no,
fan,
no,
go out there?
no. Like I said, I got literally sat down and I just got told to watch and try to figure it out. So like when it was my first match and I got out there, CJ was ringside for me. That was that was just me just trying to figure it out and try to see what the fuck I can do.
Hey, I mean, we all start
And
somewhere.
I know, and I watch it. I watched it a couple more fucking times, especially to where I'm at now, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm fucking terrible here. Like this is terrible. If I show them a match like to introduce Napalm and the backyard wrestling, it's either the Unity backyard wrestling next Unity match with me and Gyro, or it's um the match with me and CJ jump for the United States Championship single.
I mean, not bad
Because
choices.
yeah, because like if honestly like because when that second match against Gyro, I was starting to get into the motions right then and there. I was thinking about how I can take bumps and how I could stay down a little bit of a time and stuff like that. So like that's like the introduction, you know what I mean? Like to Napalm. Like, you then after that you just watch me just start figuring out more and more and more and more. And then it just leads into something even more beautiful.
So, so this wouldn't be like a backyard wrestling podcast or like interview or whatever if I didn't ask this one question that
Oh, that's
every
fun.
backyard wrestler asks. What are some dream opponents that, if anything and everything is possible, who are some guys that one day you would like to mix it up in the backyard wrestling community?
In the backyard wrestling community. Um I would like to like just names of just
Yeah,
people, no matter what company they're part of.
yeah.
Like,
If anything and everything is possible, like putting like realistic options out the window, like who would you like to one day step?
can I name like multiple people
Yeah,
or
you
like
can
is
you
it
can give
like
off a
what?
whole list or
Okay,
whatever.
so I would like the phase Aaron Blaze just to see his chemistry in a match. Omen Black, um, Kurt Adams, fucking Kurt.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah,
recently in LBYW. Hey, that might
yeah, he
actually be a
was.
realistic possibility.
I know, and just see how he works. I would love to face Kurt Adams. That's number one on my top list. And then you.
I appreciate that. Dude, I've been fucking I've been talking to CJ, man. He wants to come down here, man. We talked about it a little bit on our podcast, dude. FBW LBYW, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what it is? I know the match I'll book. I'll book all the army guys together. I'll book Eric Danger, Big B, and you. Just the battle of the fucking army guys.
Battle of the Army.
Who can out army who?
Who's the top MOS?
Fucking put like a fucking tactical vest on a pole. They're like, there you go. Fucking go grab the
Whoever gets the
fucking
best wins. Ladder match,
man.
but a vest, not a belt.
Dude, oh my god. So,
Be dope.
you've been doing backyard wrestling for a couple years now. Before we wrap this up and we get going, what are some goals that you want to accomplish? Whether it's, future goals of you want to venture out to other feds or like just goals personalized for LBYW.
Like personalized. I just regardless, like there's still a lot of work that I can do, like especially with selling moves and also executing moves. Um, especially like how to give punches and how like I can take them. I suck at giving them because I'm really not trying to fucking clock somebody. I'm really not like
Oh,
in all honesty, like it happens.
yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, sometimes you get a good fucking maybe right or left hook to the face. It happens. Um, and just be stronger and be like minded, and just and like if I do venture off to other shows, just learn more, learn how to do things more,
Yeah,
everything really.
like I tell this to everybody, especially like when they're feeling down and out about themselves. Like, wrestling is something where like you're always learning. You never stop learning wrestling. You can never master wrestling because there's always something else to learn, or there's something always, that you can better yourself in. Like I remember like, and like the thing about backyard wrestlers, like sometimes they give backyard wrestlers too much shit, but like at the end of the day, we're all self-trained people. None of like
Mhm.
well, I'm not pro trained. I mean, do I think I'm good in ring? I mean, yeah, I'm pretty solid, but like really what I just did is like me and Chris, Chris Dynamite, we learned how to do everything we do now by just studying tape. And we literally like in December of 2012, like when we first did our first FPW shit. Yeah, I'm that fucking old. 2012. Uh, we just binge watched like a shit ton of how to videos for like a couple hours straight. That's how we just like we would fucking watch on repeat how to fucking throw punches, how to do kicks, how to fucking do this move, how to do this submission. We just watch them on loop, and then we were like, okay, fuck it, let's go out there and try it. But no, like always
It's
be a sponge, never stop learning.
oh yeah, no, no, no. Like if any chance that I get like to learn, like I'll do it. Like in a heartbeat. Like if that means us going to different other shows or somebody comes to our show and stuff like that, just like learn off of that person. Because I yeah, I've only done my stuff for a couple of years, but it's like majority of you guys, y'all have done this for a long
Too
period of
too
fucking
fucking
time.
long, too fucking long. I'm too
so
fucking
so
old for
so
this shit.
so like it's like if any chance I can get like meeting you guys and fucking like being around you, like I'll fucking I'll ask questions. I'll sit there and fucking watch. Like I'll fucking do hands on. I'll be your fucking punching bag or some shit. Like if you need me to, just trying to show me some things. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind learning. I love it. Um, yeah. Like I started out as a young kid watching wrestling. I'm the older brother,
Yeah,
so like so my younger brother, me and him both were into it. So it's like we used to. Of course, wrestling was on. We used to wrestle each other right there while watching wrestling. And do a couple fucking moves to each other.
I used to get fucking beat the fuck up by my uncle. Like every time, cause like my uncle was like, like the main guy I used to like watch wrestling with growing up. Yeah, fucking like, and I'll just always grow up being like, oh yeah, I can fucking take you down, motherfucker. And I'd always get my ass kicked, cause I was fucking,
Yeah,
I was like fucking 6, goddamn fucking like 50 pounds of like nothing, and he was fucking way older. But hey, he wants to step in the ring now. You know what? That's gonna be like the generational match. I gotta get my uncle in the ring.
hell yeah.
Beat him up for them years of trauma. I remember the fucking trauma you gave me when you told me Rey Mysterio's legs got cut off. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's where my
Payback's a
Razor Rage
bitch.
stints from.
Payback's a bitch.
So, so before we end off this podcast, I like to end off every podcast with just asking a question that helps us reflect and really like reflect on like our times and like our journey in backyard wrestling, because it's good to just come to terms of where you've been, where you've came from. So what are some things that you are grateful for from your backyard wrestling journey?
It's the opportunity to be able to do it. It's like honestly, it's like before, like we said before, I did not know what backyard wrestling was. You know what I mean? And just to be able to have the opportunity to be able to be a part of it is a life changer for me. I didn't expect, talking to CJ about wrestling stuff and to figure out that this dude owns a whole backyard wrestling company, like, and like he does this whole thing, like that was, I didn't expect that, and like for him to invite me and give me the opportunity to come and be a part of that, and like I said, after that first match, I just fell in love, and I just kept wanting to do it. I kept bugging CJ. I'm pretty sure CJ was getting fucking annoyed with me how many times I was messaging him like fucking when's our next thing? Like, like fucking I'm ready. And then moving down to Oklahoma and then coming back, it's like helping coming up with ideas and helping coming out like, like we could do this or we could do that or have this idea, and just the opportunity in general to be a part of it. That's what I'm grateful for.
Well, brother, it's been an absolute honor having you on the podcast. Thank you for
No,
actually taking the
thanks for
time out of
having
your
me
day to
on.
do this. Um, real quick, I mean, any last moment thoughts or whatever you want to get off your chest before I send this bad boy off?
To people that are listening that is not in like that hasn't wrestled in the backyard community, and that enjoys watching it in general and just listening to it, we appreciate you. We and if you want to do it, hit somebody up. Like, like my line's always open. It's like we're always looking for people, and it's like, yeah, and like I'll give anybody an opportunity to.
Dude,
come
it's
experience what I experience.
low key.
It
It's hard to
is.
find people.
Oh, it is, and like it's going to seem a little weird at first because you're getting into the things, but once you do, it's the time of your life. But if you're just a watcher and you like to watch it, keep watching. I'll try to put one hell of a show. We all will. To all
For
of us that
sure,
puts
for
our
sure.
hearts and soul in and out of the fucking ring.
Quote fucking napalm. 2020,
Napalm.
2025.
2020,
Inspirational.
2025.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the SmackYard Radio live on Spotify, on YouTube, and via the Listen Now button on Sports Wire Radio. It's been Anthony Aries and Napalm. Thank you guys for listening to SmackYard Radio.